It is a joy and an honor to introduce a Shrine Kid, Dr. Martha Bruce.
I apologize for not being able to address you properly, so I will simply say, good afternoon, Shriners, guests, and friends. I'm indeed honored to have been asked to make a few remarks at your awesome celebration today, 90 years. I'm especially grateful to you for in no small way making it possible for me to not only be here, but to be anywhere today. And I'm going to make a declaration that you'll probably never hear from anyone else. Some of the happiest days of my life were spent in a hospital. I was admitted to Zemzem Hospital at 1501 West 9th Street, Erie, Pennsylvania, in October of 1944. The hospital appeared to me to be a simple, white, one-floor cottage. If it was more than that, if there were other floors, I never saw them. I think we were all on one floor. I was admitted after our family doctor tirelessly searched for a hospital that would accept a black child for treatment of polio. My family had searched for several months to find a hospital for me to be admitted to. My family had already learned that the hospital where the President of the United States was being treated for the same disease was not available for children who looked like me. I have since learned from research by David Oshinsky that the President's wife had asked him for permission to have a wing of that facility constructed for black children to be treated for polio. His response was to the effect that black children don't get polio. I wish I had known in time. I'm not sure how many children were in Zemzem at the time I was a patient, but we were like a family, and I hope some of them are here today. I remember Ina Bartlett in the bed next to me. She was from Bradford, Pennsylvania, who told me that her Pennsylvania town was probably the coldest town in Pennsylvania during the winter. On the left side of my bed was Mary Liberator, who was so proud of her name because it was the same as the Liberator bomber that was being flown in the war. Dear Elizabeth Munn, whose every breath was a struggle, had been in the iron lung. She was not able to be treated in the pool because the pressure of the water on her chest was too great. When I learned how to sneak out of my arm splints and could walk, I used to turn the pages of the books Elizabeth read. She was such a smart 12-year-old girl. Sadly, her mother wrote to me a few months later after I was discharged and said that Elizabeth had died. Beautiful 5-year-old Annie Mano had a gaping hole in her spine that had to be dressed every day, and she never cried. And then there was Patty, dear Patty, always happy and mischievous and trying to please. You know how toothpaste, when you use too much of it, dries and hardens in the bottom of your toothbrush. Well, dear Patty cleaned all the dried cake toothpaste out of all of our toothbrushes, with all of our toothbrushes. Jean Depew and I became a pair when we were given our own side-by-side rooms, and her parents treated us as special people by bringing us rabbit salad sandwiches and raisin-filled cookies every Sunday when they came to visit. Two boys from down in the boys' ward, Bill Reese from Northeast and Boyd Gunnison from Girard, used to sneak out of the boys' ward at night in their wheelchairs and sped noisily down the hall to the girls' ward just to show us how they could do wheelies in their wheelchairs. Our night nurse pretended that she couldn't hear anything. Late into the night on April 12, 1945, I heard a newsboy outside of my window shouting, "Extra paper, extra, extra, President Roosevelt dies." A date in history that I remember well. At Zemzem Hospital, where I learned to love baked potatoes, we had them every day. And until today, I love oatmeal, and I eat it every day. Thank you, Shriners, for the wonderful care you afforded me. With Helen Carter at the helm of the hospital, and for the great nurses, especially Ruth Eshelman and Miss Burke, the occupational therapist who cared for us. You wrapped us in woolen blankets on those cold, Erie winter nights. But how I would have loved to take my outstretched arms out of the splints and brought them closer to my body. Although polio has taken its toll of my body, especially my arms, I have been allowed to live a wonderful and, I hope, productive life. Thank you, Shriners.